So again, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. So as you can see on the screen, I need to repeat it again so that the class or lesson is conducted in such a way that recorded, and all the things or the materials that I share also will be clearly recorded and can be replayed later on. So first again, I need to tell you again and re-emphasize, okay, there is a Google Classroom for all of you. I repeat, there is a Google Classroom especially for you, whereby I have put all the related notes for the third theme. Tema ketiga ya, tema ketiga untuk tingkatan 5, okay, the Form 5 theme, the third theme, okay, which is regarding the genetic and inheritance, okay. I put it into the Google Classroom specific for all of you lah. Okay, all right. Inside of it, you will notice that there are some notes, which is in PDF file, and they are both bilingual way. One is in BM, Bahasa Melayu, another one is in English. Okay, let's assume, I assume that you never have this before, assume so. So that means you can go into the instruction there, and then you just kindly click on the PDF file. Then you will read it. Your computer will just, or your device will automatically download, and you can just refer it back lah for anything that I will use or share with you today. Okay, hopefully there is nothing much that you that you will face in terms of problem, as long as you have a device, internet, and also a little amount of your room. Okay, your hard disk, just download your Google Classroom, do it in the right way, including also today's the handout. Okay, my duty is to record that at least you people join the Google Classroom as a proof that you have access to the materials that I use in the lesson. There is nothing that later on you complain, oh teacher, I don't have the notes, saya tak ada nota ke apa ke. Benda ini telah dikongsikan secara terbuka di dalam Google Classroom. Okay, kalau jelas sila angkat tangan. Saya minta itu je. Jelas ke tidak? Angkat tangan. Okay, baru 6 je yang lain. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, majority dah angkat tangan, 5 lagi tak angkat tangan. Cikgu harap kamu boleh ikut kelas ya, bukannya sebab apa. Terima kasih, sila turunkan tangannya. Thank you so much. So today, if you have downloaded the handout for today, okay, this is the thing that you should have in your hand. Made up of total how many pages? 12 pages. It's a very simple materials or handout share with you. Our duty today is to discuss by using questions, of course. At the same time, to revise on chapter 11, 12, and 13. Chapter 11, 12, and 13, which is under the third theme, tema 3. Okay, okay. Make sure that you are with me all the time. Assuming also if you have any internet access problem, do not worry. Whatever that I'm sharing with you, I'm talking now, as is recorded, I will later on upload to my YouTube lah. My YouTube channel. Later you can just refer back. Okay, so let's look into the first question, very first question. Most of you again will be here. I believe that you are the very, what you call it, you are the group that is already well prepared. You are here to make sure that just to get the thing more deeper in understanding, and especially involved in the answering technique. So if you have the question with you now, or the paper with you, the handout, there's a first question, 1A. Okay, kalau anda baca lah, tolong baca. Jangan ada nota tapi tak ada. But by the way, can I just make a roughly check up from all of you? Any one of you that Ishraf, do you mind put down your hand, Ishraf? Because I hope there is nothing later on misunderstanding. I'll do for you then. Can I roughly know who have downloaded the notes or have the handout printed file in the printed manner? If you have the printed or downloaded file, please raise up your hand. I do not want later on you all just watch it, do nothing at all. please make sure that now you have a printed notes or the downloaded, at least downloaded in your tablet or electronic device so that you can later on jot down something there. If you have printed or download, please raise up your hand. I need to do this, the survey, and this is the proof also. Please raise up your hand if you have. Only one. Pick Amirul Hafizul. Okay. So I've got 8, 9, 10. How about the other? Oh, 11, 12. Yeah, just remain 12. Okay, very good. 12. So the other three of you, I hope that you are not responding maybe due to the technical problem. It's okay. But make sure you have it. Sit down properly. Do not lie down now. Make sure you sit down. Okay, I hope that, okay, someone come in again. Then we will do the lesson in a more conducive manner lah, so that the lessons can be done, that everything can be absorbed to your brain. So it won't waste your time. Okay, all right. So now you have your first questions here. Teacher, this question looks very familiar again. Yeah, this is a 2007, if I'm not mistaken, SPM question. Okay, teacher, SPM question you're using, of course. So you see 2007. This is the questions that is a very good starter for me to start up the revision for chapter 11. Okay, chapter 11, inheritance. In this chapter, if you have learned it deeply, I don't know whether you have or not but if you have learned it deeply, you do need to know this guy. Okay, Mr. Mendel. Okay, Gregor Mendel. He's the one that known as, or well known as, the father of genetics. Why we need to recognize him? Of course, because he used a very particular species. To study the inheritance of that species, which is, we know it as Pisum sativum. You can read it in the question 1A. Teacher, it's in the question. Why do I care to know it? It is also a revision for your biodiversity chapter. How do you write the name of a species? Okay, so make sure you remember species. There's Pisum sativum, the garden pea plant, which is used, and particularly he studied 7 characteristics of this plant. I repeat it. He studied 7 characteristics. Dia mengkaji 7 ciri daripada Pisum sativum ini. Kenapa kita nak hafal ciri dia tu? Okay, murid-murid, ada 7 ciri. Dalam soalan ini ada 5 ciri saja. Okay, ada 5 ciri. Apapun, kamu pernah kenal pasti 7 ciri tersebut. Sebabnya, 7 ciri itu mempunyai 2 trait yang kontra atau bertentangan. I repeat, all the selected characteristic that he used to study contains only 2 contra trait or 2 opposite traits. There's nothing intermediate or something that, for instance, let's say we talk about the flower color. Flower color, there are only 2 contra or repeat opposite traits, which are purple and white. There's nothing like pink, yellow, red, or other variants. Okay, other variants from this. So these 7 characteristics which he studied enable him to come up with the model that which you are going to study or answer later. You use it and call it as Mendel's first law, the laws of inheritance or segregation, the first laws of segregation. So you will say, what the hell, right? Most probably. Don't worry. So let's see. Jadi apa yang kita nak belajar? Kalau kamu tengok di sini, antaranya kamu dah mula dengar perkataan tersebut, iaitu karakteristik dan juga trait. Cikgu, jadi apa yang saya perlu tahu ni? Kalaulah kamu telah belajar, andai katalah kamu telah belajar. Jadi murid-murid, kalaulah kamu telah belajar bab ini dan kamu yakin, kamu tanya diri sendirilah, ini adalah benda di dalam skrin, di atas skrin ini kamu perlu baca ya. Okey? Kalau anda baca sekarang, kalaulah soalan tanya kamu, jelaskan maksud, okey, antara karakteristik dan trait. antara karakteristik dan trait. Mungkin kamu kata, okay, satu saja. Jadi seperti yang dipaparkan di skrin, kalau kamu tengok sekarang, tolong tengok dan baca. Ya, inilah istilah-istilah yang kamu perlu jelaskan dan menampakkan perbezaan. Bukannya kamu main jelaskan perkataan, tetapi kamu dah tulis maksud dia tetapi tak nampak jelas dia. Contohnya paling tidak jeans dan allele. Jeans and allele atau be again dan allele. Jadi isu dia bukannya kamu tak faham. Kadang-kadang apabila kita masuk ke dalam penulisan jawapan, maka kita timbul isu. Ya ke? Apa yang saya tulis ini macam sama maksud saja. Jadi kalaulah saya tanya adik-adik sekarang, siapa yang yakin boleh jawab apa itu karakteristik dan satu lagi apa itu trait dengan yakin. Siapa yang rasanya dia yakin? Kalau cikgu minta macam tu, siapa yang yakin? Boleh angkat tangan tak? You tak yalah. Yang lain? Siapa yang rasa dia yakin? Boleh angkat tangan ke tak? Tak angkat tangan maksudnya tak yakin lah tu. Saya anggap macam tu lah. Okay? If I use an explanation from textbook, if you listen well, characteristic is something that can be inherited, okay? Inherited. And it is what the physical appearance looks like, okay? Physical appearance. Then you will say, then what's the difference with trait? What is the difference with trait? Trait, if you refer to the textbook again, trait is actually what? The variance of the characteristic, the variance. So for instance, if you refer to your textbook, you do need to have your textbook. Jangan kata tak ada textbook. I'm using the textbook together with you now. So you do not say you do not have one. It's in page 232. If you notice, characteristic again, heritable feature. Heritable, okay? Inherited. And it's a physical feature. Physical, that means you can see. For instance, like eye color, as you can see the note there. But for Mendel, he used pisum sativum. You need to know it. So the characteristics such as what? The height of the tree. I repeat, the height of the plant. Height, ketinggian. Jadi, itu character. Trait is the variance. I repeat, trait. Variation of the specific characteristic. For instance, height of the plant, height of the tree, okay? Let it be height. They are tall plant, short plant. I repeat, tall and short. There's none in between or in between like, oh dia tinggi sikit-sikit, rendah sikit-sikit. Tak, dia memang jelas pokok itu ialah tinggi dan rendah. Tinggi dan rendah. Tak ada tengah-tengah ataupun lagi kecil. Tak, dia memang tinggi dan rendah. Ataupun kalau kamu rujuk pada yang lain, kalau ikut soalan yang ada pun, kamu boleh baca soalan tersebut. Contohnya biji benik, bulat, kedut, round and wrinkled. There is nothing in between. Sedikit-sedikit bulat, sedikit-sedikit kedut. So you must be able to differentiate what you put into the explanation. You do not say that, okay, saya tahu, tapi saya tak pandai tulis. That's not my business already. I already tell you, you need to be able to put it, and when you read your answer and you know that this show difference, or that means your answer show difference. Okay, difference between that. Okay, now when you go into the questions, the first question, of course, identify and name the characteristic and the trait study. So how do you put the answer? Then second, calculate the ratio. Okay, hitung nisbah. Calculate the ratio of the phenotype. Dominant, of course, to recessive. For any three characteristics that you want to study. So how do you put the answer? So I'm now going to show you in some page and how do you perform the answer, or how do you write the answer for the first one here. So how do you put for the first question, A1? If you're looking on the screen, that's how do you put it. So of course, this answer here require you to put it into table. It's in the table. You have no choice, which actually, if you notice, that's why characteristics and also trait. In fact, there are trait for dominant, trait for recessive. There's another second term here already. We start with characteristic now, and trait. Now we got a second one, and recessive. If you are now with me, any one of you, can you clearly tell me that how do you define dominant and recessive? Any one of you? Or do I need to just call out certain name here? Let's say, who is it? Gimpasu. What? Okay, Gimpasu Afuro. Oh my God. Are you there? Gimpasu. Wait, are you there? If you are there, you may just raise up your hand. If you're reluctant to answer, at least I know you are there. Please just raise up your hand. Are you there? Gimpasu? Okay. So you're reluctant to answer me lah. Fine, let it be. Let's talk about other. Let's go for another. Anik. Yeah, Anik. Anik, are you there? Are you there? Anik, what's the difference? Let's say, not to say difference. How do you define dominant and recessive? You may just type it on the chat box. Just have a two-way communication. You will make your memory stronger actually. Okay, assuming so. Right? Anik, do you want to try it or no? Anik? Muhammad Anik, are you there? Okay, good. So you are reluctant to answer that also lah. So let me do the what we call it solo show again. Solo lah. So hopefully you will have a enjoyable moment lah. If you are listening to me all the time, I hope you won't easily get bored. Now, dominant and recessive. Well, I'm writing the answers here, of course. So you will say, teacher, dominant means that something that appear to be dominant. Most of course. Okay. So if you say so, if you write it that way in your answers, so what actually you know about dominant then? If you remember that the shape of your hair, there are two types. Major, we are talking now. It means we call it what? Curly and straight hair. Ya, bentuk rambut ada dua, kerinting dan juga lurus. Murid-murid, kerinting dan lurus. Kalau kamu kata dominant means that those appear to be majority. So let's look around. You will notice that around us, but what types of the hair that appears to be more? You need to think about that. So dominant, if you refer that to appears to be majority, you notice that most of the people around you are straight hair. They are not curly hair. But if you say that dominant means appear majority, this is against with what you know. So in genetics now, okay, dalam hukum yang kita nak belajar ni, hukum Mendel ni, kamu perlu jelas apa sebenarnya maksud dominant dan recessive mengikut Mendel. Okay. Jadi sebelum kita pergi jauh, jadi jawapan dia seed shape ini kat cikgu tengah tulis ni sambil bercakap sambil tulis ni memang agak sebenarnya agak mencabar lah kalau kamu tengok. Jadi ini dia contoh. Jadi ada 7, kamu perlu tulis semua. Okay. Jadi macam mana kamu tahu dia sebenarnya dia dominant ke recessive? Ini soalan bagus tau. Kalau kamu boleh jawab sekarang dengan yakin, bagus. Jadi macam mana? Siapa dengan yakin nak jawab? Kalau kamu kata, okay, kalau ikut tafsiran buku teks direct, dominance trait means that the trait that we show either in homozygous and heterozygous genotype. Maksudnya, trait dominant akan dipaparkan ataupun ditunjukkan dalam genotip sama ada homozygote atau heterozygote. Kata kedua dah, kata ketiga lah. Hetero, homo apa benda pula kan. Tapi di sini kamu tak nampak. Kalau kamu tengok soalan di sini, kamu tak nampak pun genotip dia. Genotip tak nampak. Kalau ataupun kamu nampak sebenarnya, tak nampak kan. Jadi sebenarnya apa itu dominant dan recessive? Jadi ini pun kita perlu jawab selepas ni. Jadi murid-murid sekarang kita ada berapa ciri di sini? Kalau kita tulis jawapan ada 5 Okay, ciri karakteristik ciri. Tadi Archie guna karakteristik dalam PM kan. Sepatutnya ciri. Jadi ada 5. Jadi kamu perlu tulis semua 5 baru dapatlah 4 markah ini. Okay. Lepas itu A2 pula. Ataupun nanti aku tulis semua. Murid ke tak? Ada soalan ke tak dengan jawapan tersebut? Ada 5, kamu perlu jawab semua ya. Juga yang bantu kamu tulis saja. Yang penting siapa yang ada tablet, kamu buat dalam Word kamu. Ataupun note lah, notepad kamu tulis je. Ataupun siapa yang lagi tak ada, tak apa. keluarkan kertas, tulis je. Yang penting kamu perlu jawab. Okay. Rasanya perlu cikgu tulis semua ke tak? Kalau perlu, bagi tahu ya. Angkat tangan, cikgu akan dengar. Okay. Jadi untuk A2, nisbah. Kenapa nisbah itu penting? Ya, saya tahu ada antara kamu yang dah belajar sampai boring dah. Okay, cikgu ini nisbah 3:1. Tapi Mendel tidak mendapat 3:1 dengan begitu saja. Dia, kalau anda baca sekarang, nampak ke tak? Dia membuat eksperimen dengan menggunakan kacukan, crossing between the plant or the flowers of the plant, cross. Maksudnya dia membiak. Dia membuat kajian dengan membiak. Okay, pokok pisang sativum ini. Jadi kamu nampak hasil dia beribu-ribu. Dari beribu-ribu itulah datangnya konsep nisbah 3:1. Jadi kamu perlu tahu hitung nisbah ni. Macam mana nak hitung nisbah dominan kepada resesif ini. Jadi jawapan dia pun senang saja kalau kamu nak tulis. Cikgu pun buat satu kat depan. Contoh, kalau ada 3, cikgu ambil satu je. Okay, C-shape. Kalau anda tengok dalam soalan, C-shape ini 5,474 kan? Okay. Cikgu pun perlulah kecilkan dulu frame rate sebab cikgu perlu tengok ini. Ini the figure Kalau anda tengok 5,474, okay, round to 1850 include. Jadi kita sekarang nak buat pembahagian macam mana dapat 3/1 itu. Jadi matematik, siapa yang reti, ambil nilai yang paling kecil, bahagikan. Jadi 5,474 bagi dengan yang paling kecil sama dengan 1850 bagi 1850. Maka kamu akan dapat, okay, siapa boleh bantu cikgu kalau bantu baguslah. Okay. Saya tahu susah ya, jadi sekarang kamu perlu ikut cuba ikut, dan kalau rasa perlu bercakap, cakap je, buka mic, jangan malu. Okay. 2.96. Okay, ini dia. Maka kamu dapatlah nisbah yang kalau kamu nak bundarkan dia, wajib tulis macam ni. Lepas tu kita nak bundarkan, kita nak simbol bundarkan mana. Dapatlah 3 round kepada 1. Satu dia minta kamu buat berapa? Dia minta kamu buat 3 ciri 3 characteristic. So I do it 1. There are 2 more you can pick if any of the 4 characteristics remain in the question. Okay, there are total how many characteristics? 5 in the questions, which is seed shape, seed color, pot shape, pot color, and also flower color. You can pick any one of them. Okay, you pick any one of them. Choose 3, of course. The question is asking for 3 of the characteristics. Make sure you put it properly into your answer. Do it right in the right way. So students, can I have some response from you first? Do you think you can follow? If you think you can, okay, Muhammad Ishraf, is it? Yeah. I just saw somebody raise up the hand. Ishraf, do you have question? Ada soalan tak Ishraf?
No, teacher, no.
Tak saja je. Okay, tak apa. If you think you can follow, please raise up your hand. I just need questions. If you think you can answer unfollow, you can follow me now. Raise up your hand. Don't put up first. 11. How about the rest? The rest of you? There are only 12. Raise up 13. So I hope are 14. Very good. Okay, you may put down your hand. Thank you so much. Okay, so that will be the first question to let you know that we need to recognize Mendel. Okay, by using this very specific plant. Kalau dia pilih pokok lain ataupun dia bukan pilih pokok, dia pilih contohlah kita ambil, kalau dia pilih pokok dulu, kalau dia pilih contoh bunga raya. Warna bunga pun ada beberapa jenis. Jadi benda itu dia akan timbul sesuatu di mana model penerangan dia itu akan timbul persoalan. Jadi dia tak bolehlah menjadi bapa genetik dalam benda ni. Sebab masa dia ada ramai yang tengah kaji sebenarnya macam mana pewarisan itu lah. Jadi datanglah kepada soalan muka surat 2 ni. Okay, murid-murid hand out muka surat 2. I need you to be focused explain monohybrid inheritance based on Mendel's experiment. Kalaulah kamu tengah buat nota, kalau kamu masih buat nota dengan saya, setia dengan saya, seperti yang saya dah sebut. Kalau anda tengok pada skrin dan dengar apa yang cikgu cakap, maka sepatutnya kamu sudah perlu fokus ya, di mana kamu perlu jelaskan maksud genetik ini semua, dekat depan ni semua, di dekat skrin ni, dengan memberikan maksud dan membezakan maksud antara istilah yang ada. Mungkin kamu nampak sama, tapi daripada penerangan kamu perlu tunjukkan perbezaan. Contoh tadi kata dominant recessive. Ya, jadi biasa orang kata dominant itu akan jumpa banyak, tapi tidak berlaku pada jenis rambut khususnya. Jadi kenapa? Jawablah. Jawab. Okey, cikgu pun dah sebut homozygote heterozygote. Jadi benda ini nak jawab senang je. Kalau kamu nak jawab senang je. Jadi diberikan dalam satu muka surat yang kosong ni, kalau siapa yang dah cetak bagus, yang tak cetak saya anggapkan kamu ada satu panggil apa tablet, kamu boleh tulis di situ lah. Okey, kamu boleh tulis di situ. Cikgu pun nak tulis ni nah. Jadi apa yang Mendel cuba buktikan? Kamu perlu faham. Sebelum cikgu rujuk pada buku teks, kamu boleh rujuk juga pada masa yang sama, bukan saya kata kamu. Kamu boleh rujuk buku teks muka surat 231. Ya, kamu nampak sudah ada bagus lah. Tetapi saya nak kamu terangkan dari kosong. Explain from zero. Jadi macam mana? You macam mana ni? Apa cerita yang kamu nak cakap? Ya, berdiri di tempat Mendel. Kita berdiri di tempat Mendel. Okay? Mendel, dia menggunakan pure breed. Saya ambil paling senang, tall plant dulu. Ikut buku je, saya tak nak kacau. Kalau kamu nak kata cikgu, boleh tak guna yang lain? Buku dah guna tall plant. Kalau kamu nak, saya boleh. Jadi nak ke tak nak? Boleh. Ataupun guna macam buku je. Siapa komen? I just need any one of you to comment. You want me to use the tall and the short plant as the example, or you want me to change it into other traits, such as purple, and use the book? Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, thank you so much. So, see, look into this particular word. You have another things that you need to explain. What is it meant by pure breed? Pure breed. Siapa nak jawab pure breed? Rasanya boleh jawab tak pure breed? Jadi apa yang dia buat adalah cross. Dia kacukkan pure breed, tall plant and short. So there's the first term here. What is pure breed? Anyone? Okay. If you do not know, so allow me to speak it out. I speak it out and then hopefully you can remember. Pure breed here refer to that the trait of the plant, which will be inherited of course to the next generation without any new variant appear. Maksud dia, untuk baka turin pure breed, trait tersebut apabila dia diwariskan, dia tidak akan muncul variant yang lain. Maksud dia, kalau tak saya guna tall plant, if I use tall plant to do self-cross, and the word self-cross, macam mana saya biar pun, saya hanya akan dapat tall plant saja. Untuk dia. Dan untuk makluman semua, Mendel, untuk pastikan dia pure breed, dia buat kacukan sebanyak 9 generasi atau ke atas. Bayangkan, dia sanggup nak buktikan itu pure breed dengan membiak, okay, self-cross, dia buat biak antara tall plant itu selama 9 generasi. Jadi tak ada yang short, itu tall plant. Sama untuk short plant. That's why, teacher, where can I get all the name of the term here? I mean, all the explanation of the term. You can refer to 232 of your textbook, as well 233. That's why you see pure breed. Okay, the point is, they refer here, it carry 2 identical alleles. I wish I didn't tell you yet, but the point is, self-cross always produce offspring with the same characteristic in every generation. So he did that. The time he started his study, not yet touched about allele or factors yet. So he knows that this is pure breed by doing staff cross for few generations. Okay, I get it. I get the same trait again and again. Oh, this is pure breed. Okay, Barker Tully. So hopefully you can follow. I continue. Then when he breed it, so he named the first generation here as what? Okay, as P generation. Okay, parental generation, generasi P ataupun induk lah kalau untuk PM. But he find out that something weird. When he crossbreed between these two pure breeds, contra or opposite traits, you get all the F1 generation. You see how it works? I know you will say that you already know, but put yourself in Mendel now. Dia tak tahu apa pasal allele ataupun dua faktor. Dia hanya tahu pure breed, satu tall, pure breed, satu short. Dan apabila dia kacukkan dua-dua ini, the point is, all the F1 generation, all are tall. We produce all tall plant. That's the point lah. You see how it works? So now, okay, what is F1? F stands for filial. Filial means, okay, the children or descendants. So let it be, the one means the first generation. There are F2, of course, you need to go until F2. So to understand it deeper, here comes the second term. After this pure breed in the Mendels, here comes the second term. We call it a phenotype. Phenotype and also genotype. Phenotype or phenotype lah. Okay, and then what is it? Genotype. Genotype. So how do you answer this? Mendel, and try to understand this phenomena. Okay, this phenomena. He deduced that every trait or every characteristic also is determined by two factors. That time there is no word for allele, but you can now use it. Determined by two alleles or a pair of alleles. Okay, dia kata ada dua, mesti ada dua faktor yang menentukan. So in this case, here there is actually two letters. What is it two letters mean? It means two factors. So you will say, what is this 2T? That's why every time when you do for genetic schematic diagram, you must first define what actually the alphabet for the allele or the factor, now we're talking the factor, meant for. So let's say this big T, big capital letter T stand for, that time don't have allele, so they use factor. Now you know there is allele, you use allele, allele for tall trait. Same for the short plant here, you will have in small letter T. That's why you need to define again, give the name allele for short trait. Everything here meant for 1 mark in your future. That means when you come for the genetic schematic diagram, a lot of people then listening about this thing. Yes, this particular thing here showing is very important. Okay, while you put a name for the allele or the alphabet for the allele, you need to first explain to the people. Then what happens next is that, teacher, what is phenotype and genotype? Very good. If you ask that question now, that means you are not in the same wavelength with me now, brain wavelength. So phenotype means anything that physically appear. Genotype, as the word imply here, means the genes. Something that actually hidden, which cannot be seen, but you need to know. But teacher, can you give me the exact explanation? It's right in your book as well, which is on page 232, 232, not 22. Okay, so phenotype, observable characteristic, physical appearance or acceptable, while genotype here means that time hidden. So now we have a word called genetic. Genetic adalah komposisi genetic that cannot be seen. That's why you need to know all the term very well, teacher. So what should I do now? Yes, this page is empty. Why is it empty? every single term that you do not understand, kalau kamu ada pencil, keluarlah pencil tulis. Kalau kamu guna tablet lagi bagus lah, benda tak tablet kat sini, keluarlah, bukanlah pen macam cikgu buat, ditulis kat tepi, pure breed tulis apa maksud dia, phenotype apa maksud dia, genotype apa maksud, tulis. Ingat, kamu perlu tunjukkan kamu faham ya. So genotype means the genetic composition, yes it's true gene, which is not observable, hidden inside, that's why you need to explain. Now, Mendel's first law. So every characteristics actually consists or made up of two alleles. Two alleles. Who say so? Mendel. So during the formations of gamete, yes, that time he doesn't know meiosis. That's why he said during the formations of gamete. So you see, I'm using arrows. Okay. I'm using arrows. Am I using circles now? During the formations of gamete. That's why in your exam, you like it or not, you need to put it this way. So during the formations of gamete, only one factor or single factor is inherited in the formations of gamete. That means that if this is the gamete, regardless of the gender, of course, you will say the tall plant is the male, this will be sperm. If you say that the short is a female, this will be ovum lah. So this thing is related towards your chapter, the fourth chapter in your Form 5, reproductions of plant. You can do some study later on. So you have big T of, and then here big T. I'm doing a very, very general explanation here. In your book, they give a straight T, let it be, a big T, one side, and another small T, another side. But you need to know that, so it is actually separated. That's why Mendel's first law, also known as law of segregation, laws of segregation. So only one of the factor is actually inherited in the gamete during the gamete formation, during meiosis. So I use the word meiosis here. Boys and girls, there's no girl, of course. Meiosis. So this term here also meant that that's why people missing the point. Why do I need to write meiosis? This meiosis is also one particular part where the student lost the marks, forgotten to write it. So make sure you write it, meiosis, and also the gamete. That's why gamete, somehow they will put it aside. These are the very important terms that you need to have for all of that. Then we will have what? We will have, okay, every single allele from the gamete will combine or fuse, combine with another allele from other gamete of a different individual, different. That's why you see here we have this, okay? Okay, that's why I'm using different color here so that you can see a difference. No matter how much that you do the crossing for, there are actually total 4 crossing here. You like it or not? I'm doing for all here so that later on I can reuse this thing back. Okay. So let's go for all of this. So you will see that the crossing is very important. The line must be crossed in between different gametes from different individuals. They mean different parents, father and the mother. So for those who think they might understand already, please make sure that you do your self-check. Nothing that is wrong, okay? So you see that all of them, okay, all are T, big T and small t. It's a combination between all big T with small t, big T with small t. So without wasting our time, am I correct? If you have question, make sure you ask it. I forgot to bring my writing pad. That's why I'm typing like an idiot here. But let it be. Sorry for that. That's why you will have the answer here, which you call it as F1. F1 genotype. For the first F1 generation that I show you, all tall plants actually are referring to the phenotype. So this explains to you that why we got all tall plants at the F1 generation, and at the first time also he trying to explain what does it mean by dominant and recessive. Dominant and recessive. Siapa nak cuba jawab? Kalau kamu di tempat Mendel, macam mana kamu nak bagi tahu orang apa itu dominant melalui apa yang kamu nampak ni? Jadi Mendel dia cakap, when two opposite trait of the characteristic, pure breed of course, pure breed, crossing and produce the F1 generation, which trait that shown at F1 generation will be the dominant trait. Tengok jadi sekarang kamu nak tengok height of the plant, tall and short. Maka pure breed memang dia hanya ada alel tall, short breed short lah. Hanya semua short saja alel. Maka pada F1 generasi itu, generasi F1 itu, apa yang kita nampak phenotype itu atau trait tersebut, itulah dominant. Jadi maka kita tahu dah kat sini tall trait ini adalah dominant. Manakala cikgu nampak tak? Manakala short trait ini adalah recessive. Dengan itu kita dah tahu, oh, kita sekarang dah yakin dah, oh, dominant itu adalah ketika dua baka tuli yang bertentangan trait bertentangan, kacup, dan trait yang dipaparkan atau ditonjolkan, perkataan yang ditonjolkan pada generasi F1 itu, itulah sebenarnya dominant trait dominant. Okay, ikut buku juga tak salah. Dominant trait also refer to whatever trait that is shown when it is under heterozygous form or genotype. Then you will say, what is heterozygous then? Okay, allow me to show you. Okay, so this is also known as big T homozygous dominant. Or small t here, we call it as homozygous recessive. As I mentioned, dominant. What is dominant? When the genotype is heterozygous. That means got dominant and recessive. And when the trait, which trait that is shown is dominant. Which trait that is shown under heterozygous genotype is the dominant trait. Teacher, where do you say so? Or where can I refer this? Go to your 233, is here. Okay, let's go for dominant trait and also recessive trait first. Dominant trait is expressed when both alleles are dominant. Of course, dua tol memang tol lah. Or one dominant allele is paired with a recessive allele. Okay, that's mean when it's in homozygous dominant and heterozygous, it will outshone. That will be a dominant trait. This relate with dominant allele. So dominant allele is the allele we show is trait. Show is trait when it is present, and suppress the effects of recessive allele. And normally it will be written by using capital letter. Capital, dia tak ada benda lain, huruf besar saja. Manakala recessive only will shown, only, that's why I use the word only, when it's paired with another recessive allele. Okay? Or you can show it in the recessive allele. It's an allele that shows its trait when both alleles are recessive allele. So you must be able to understand that there are a few ways actually to tell the people what is dominant and recessive. And of course, you can directly use the terms, explanations, or tell me in the book. That will be actually the best. But now there was actually 1 year in the SPM objective question. They say that by using Mendel model, okay, or models of Mendel. Dominance means that when two pure breeds or of opposite trait crossing with each other, the F1 trait is dominant. It's correct. The term, the explanation is correct. Nothing wrong. Some people say it's not from book, but it's actually true. It's explaining by using the Mendel experiment here. Okay, so any one of you got questions? If you think you can, understand, would you mind just raise up your hand? Just let me know. Do you think you understand? Can you follow so far? Okay, I need to see whether or not. So I got 11 people raising hand here. How about rest? Okay, I got 14. How about the rest of you? Do you see? I'm not recording. So don't put down the hand. Raise your hands. Okay, raise it first, because this is the thing I'm recording here, which your parents might trying to look, watch it back to see whether you the children actually listening or learning or not from me. Okay, so thank you so much. You may put down your hand. Thank you. Now we continue. Not yet finished. So this is only the first part. Then we have F2 generation. So teacher, I'm quite bored now. So you will say, teacher, why don't we straight away go for another question? Yeah, I should do it now. You may now refer to the next questions. So without wasting you and my time, students, let's go to page, your handout, page 9. Page 9. Okay, I'm now trying to explain to you. So this is the SPM questions. SPM question 2008. Just now the first questions I used is the essay question. That's 2007, if I'm not mistaken. This is 2008 question. And ironically, this question again come out in essay in 2010 or 11. This similar diagram, but they put it into essay. Now, this is a structured question. Explain why all the offspring have black fur. So how do you answer that? Assuming that you are now in your place for SPM. So students, how do you write the answer? Maybe 30 seconds. I've been doing all the talking right now. Let's do the 30 seconds. Let me drink some water. So how do you write the answer? So this is the basic understanding. Of course, when you look at this, okay, where should I start with thing? Now, as the Mendel first law said, okay, everything or every characteristics as well as trait is determined by two alleles. So now you notice that this we have black here and then all black fur offspring produced. So you must first explain to the people, of course, the allele. So the allele, I'm putting on the screen here, of course, you can read it. So the allele, okay, of course, if you see all black fur, for black fur is dominant allele. We need to clarify that. That will be definitely the first mark. Okay. So why is that? You see the questions asking you, why all the offspring have black fur? That means they must inherited the black fur allele from either of the parents. Of course, in this question, the homozygous black fur. So how do you explain that? So one of the parents, okay, has homozygous, okay, genotype. If you want to put genotype, let it be. If you don't put, okay, genotype for black fur. Meaning that if you want to put any further explanation, you can put it there, black fur, capital letter B, just to let the people understand it easier. So one of the parents is or has homozygous main genotype for black fur, which is actually big B and big B, which is not written here. So you put it in so that you understand. Then what happened next? During meiosis, of course, you have to tell the people during meiosis, okay, or you can straight away to the gamete formation. The gamete, okay, produce by the homozygous black fur. It's fine. You no need to write actually, but for me, I need you to understand by the homozygous black fur. Rat. Is which allele or produce carrying allele B, or you can put it emphasize one allele B. Okay, during meiosis, teacher, so many things I need to write. That's why I'm telling you why you need to write this later on. I will tell you. So during meiosis, I put it very clearly to you. Already. The gamete produce carrying one allele B from the parents with homozygous, of course. So the gamete with allele B combined. That's of course you use the word fertilize. Fertilize with gamete from where? The homozygous white fur, from the parents homozygous white fur. You want to put it BB, small letters, okay? There's a point, of course. Producing what? Producing offspring with heterozygous. With heterozygous. Okay? Or heterozygous black fur, which is big B and small b. So here you have at least 4 points that you actually 5 points in fact. Meiosis and also fertilization is very important. And then now producing the offspring with heterozygous black fur. That's what all are black fur we are trying to tell. Okay? With heterozygous black fur, if you want to emphasize it also can, all. Okay, producing all offspring with heterozygous black fur. So question so far, then you will say, teacher, why do I care to learn this? Okay, let's go for the textbook again. Textbook, where I'm talking textbook, without wasting your time. Page 237. 237. Okay, without wasting your time. So a trait is controlled by a pair of genetic factors. A pair. Okay, that's allele. A pair of alleles segregates or separates during formations of gamete. That's why you need to say only one allele from the pair is found in the single gamete. That's why we need to mention that. Put it that one. And then during fertilization, a zygote is formed, possess 2 alleles. Okay, 2 alleles. You must mention from which parents that they get it for the specific characteristic. Then we have the homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, not to forget about heterozygous genotype, that where when it is in heterozygous, the trait that are shown would be dominant trait. Okay, then come to your first question, teacher. So what is the difference between gene and allele? Gene and allele. Okay, we need to know that also, gene and allele. So to make the thing simple, okay, gene, as the word imply, or you learn it from any book, gene is a genetic factor that determines a characteristic. Now, you need to know that. I'm trying to draw it on the screen here. You need to know. Sorry, it should be what we call it? Homologous, same length of the chromosome. I'm trying to say, but I need to erase this so that and you draw it the same length so that you know this is homologous. What is homologous? You need to know that. Well, it doesn't look that homologous to me later because this is recorded. I hope that. Okay, what is homologous? Okay, let's make the thing clear. If I'm showing you on the screen here, Google it, make it very simple. Homologous chromosome. Also in the question later, don't worry. Homologous chromosome. Yes. That chromosomes that having the same length as general, which is not complete yet, But I'm trying to tell you that homologous here means that the chromosome have the same length. Why is it so important? Because your body are made up of 23 pairs of chromosome. Of course, you will say 22 pairs of homologous chromosome because you are a man. 22 pairs of homologous chromosome and XY. XY, they are not homologous. XY, because X is longer, Y is shorter. But for female, you have 23 pairs of homologous chromosome. Make it simple. So, what is gene? Gene, that's why you need to know what is gene here. When you go back to this, so for instance, allow me just to try it again so that I will get a beautiful homologous chromosome, same length. Okay, assuming this is homologous. So, boys, if you look into the screen here, what is gene? Let's say I'm drawing this way. You will see it in your book textbook, don't worry. So when you do it, so assuming that I've drawn something blue in color here indicate. So it is blue color gene, assume that it's the genes that determine the color of the iris of your eyes. The iris of your eyes. Maksudnya mata apa bukan anak mata. Panggil apa je? Bukan anak mata, maksud warna mata kamu. Saya lupa dah tempat tu, tapi tak apa. Jadi kalaulah itu menentukan warna mata kamu lah, andai kata. Jadi inilah secara kedua-dua ini kita panggil gene. Gene. Dia menentukan warna mata. Tetapi kita tahu setiap gene ada sepasang faktor, yang menentukan ciri tersebut ataupun trait tersebut. Kalau kita nak namakan setiap satu, maksudnya kita nak sebut setiap satu tersebut, maka contoh ini ya. Kalau tadi kita pakai T kan. Kalau ini ada B besar, contoh. Ini pula ialah ada P kecil, contoh. Maka dua pilihan itu kita akan sebut B besar, B kecil ini adalah allele. That's why allele is the alternative forms of gene. Alternative forms of gene which determine the trait, not the characteristic but the trait. Okay, that's why when you back to the on top 200 and where is it now? I need to be very firm. I hope that this thing will help you to understand it better. That's why, where are you now? Page 232. Okay. Definitely, you come across with the word gene in a lot of science fiction movie. So it's the basic unit of inheritance, which consists of DNA segment. We are going to do the question later. Okay, this gene control a specific characteristic. Okay, let it be. While allele is an alternative forms of the gene. Alternative forms of the gene for a specific trait. Okay, for a specific trait. Then teacher, what the hell with this meaning of locus and a pair of homologous chromosome? Yes, when you look into this diagram, so in some of the objective questions which I disagree, when they have a label, let's say for this, they label these two together. This is gene. However, if they put it this way, what is A? A is allele. You cannot say A is gene. Unless again, if they label this way, what is actually A? If they put it this way, they put two labels on this particular height, ketinggian yang sama, ini gene. A ini akan jadi gene. Tetapi kalau soalan tanya apa itu A untuk tunjuk satu saja ini, itu allele. Tadi isu buat. Okay. Jadi apa itu locus ya? Locus rujuk kepada kedudukan gene tersebut dalam kromosom. Kedudukan. Ya. Untuk makluman semua, tahun 2021 ke 22, gene manusia telah 100% telah dikenal pasti untuk 46 kromosom, di mana contoh mereka tahu dah. Okey, kalau kamu kata rambut, bentuk rambut, mereka tahu gene di kromosom mana, locus apa yang menentukan bentuk rambut contoh. Dengan tahu kedudukan dia, maksudnya di sini datang bab 13, modern technology. Maka dalam masa akan datang, kalau kamu nak lahirkan anak yang phenotype lain daripada ibu bapa, secara teori can we actually alter the gene to produce the what we call it desired characteristic that we want. Theoretically, yes. Kita hanya perlu buat sesuatu adjustkan gene. Jadi apa dalam gene itu nanti kita dah belajar kejap. Apa dalam gene itu? DNA. Jadi kita perlu buat susunan, ubahkan susunan dia. Jadi kita akan dapat apa yang kita nak ciri pada anak kita. Cikgu, betul ke ni? You can read it yourself on the internet. No worry. Then what is homologous chromosome? Homologous chromosome as general means that a pair of the chromosome with same length, and not to forget that the centromere of the homologous chromosome also should be, or must be at the same locus as well. Ingat ke tak? Kalau kamu ingat dalam tingkatan 4 bab 6, yang kromosom tengah-tengah ini, kalau kamu ingat, kita panggil centromere. Kalau kamu ingatlah. Ya, apa maksud homologous chromosome? Ketika itu, ya, kromosom yang sangat sama panjang, itu betul. Tetapi kalau kamu tengok di depan skrin kamu sekarang, cuba tengok Cuba tengok, cikgu nak lukis satu ni, okey, balik kepada ini. Kalau cikgu lukis lagi satu kromosom kat sini murid-murid. Tengok pada skrin ini penting sekarang, sangat penting. Kenapa mesti nyatakan centromere itu? Tengok kalau cikgu lukis lagi satu kromosom macam ni. Cikgu bagi A, B dan C. Mana satu adalah homologous chromosome? Mana satu adalah homologous chromosome? Memang kamu akan pilih B dan C. Tapi semua sama panjang. Jadi kenapa kamu pilih B dan C lah homologous? Ya, selain daripada sama panjang, same length or same height also can, same length of the chromosomes, you must, I'm telling you must mention that the centromere of the homologous chromosome should be at the same locus, pada ketinggian yang sama. That's why it's homologous chromosome. Or else, if you are given ABC3 chromosome in front again, how do you define homologous chromosome? By picking P and C or B and C. B and C are homologous chromosome, okay? But A is not, because of the locus of the centromere is lower, different from B and C. Kalau anda faham apa yang cikgu cakap sampai sekarang, sila angkat tangan. Sila angkat tangan ya, cikgu want to know whether or not you understand or not Ishraf dari tadi tak turun-turun pandai. Tak apa. I need to see. So we have 13 raised hand here. How about the rest? 14? We got 19, right? Supposed to be. No. Raise your hand. Don't put down. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that everybody understand. Okay. So there are 2 more there. I don't know why they are not raising the hand, or maybe they cannot press on the this raise hand button. Okay. I'm thinking positively. So you may put down your hand, all of you. So hopefully those that are not raising up the hand, if you got problems, you may refer back to your Google Classroom. Your Google Classroom here. All the respected notes which I'm using here. Okay, you can see on the screen here. Okay, that's all the notes that I'm going to use supposedly. It's all inside the Google Classroom. You may just no need to say download, put into your laptop. To save your ROM or your hard disk, you just need to click on it, and then you just read through with your textbook in hand, of course. Okay, so hopefully it helps you. Hopefully, I hope so. Now we continue. So we mentioned the word DNA. So what about DNA? Go back to question 2, page 6. Page 6, number 2A. We jump already, further, go to the E questions already. This is also a past year question, SPM. So this is a nucleotide. So students, what is a P and Q? Of course, you all know it right now. If this is DNA, okay, I'm talking DNA. So P is what? A phosphate group. No doubt, you don't tell me you don't know This is the thing that you have learned in Form 4, Chapter 4. Phosphate group, and Q is a nitrogenous base. Group also can. If in the question they ask you in DNA, nitrogenous base in DNA got 4, you must recognize it. Make sure it's clear. A, T, G, and C. Adenine, BM, thymina, guanina, cytosine, or cytosina. That's for DNA. If the question changed into RNA, if the question into RNA, you will not have T, you have AUGC, uracil. Uracil gantikan yang T, itu perlu baca. Jadi sekarang jadi DNA lah, kita tak nak buang masa. Jadi murid-murid, tengok soalan yang kedua ni B. Okay, lengkapkan. Complete the diagram. So how do you draw the DNA diagram? 3 marks. So students, how do you draw it? Assuming that you are now in this SPM questions here, well, how do you draw it? Teacher, I never draw a DNA before. Come on, you have seen these types of diagram in few movies. In fact, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man, when bitten by the spiders, they show the video of the DNA actually altered, mutated by the venom from the spider. You can just go YouTube and Google yourself. YouTube or Google, it also got the diagram. Not to forget also in X-Men, there are few scenes also talking about the DNA, the model. Not to forget also even in the Hulk, also got. So you shouldn't say that this is new. By now you should be able to draw it confidently. Okay, let's say, so you want to draw it. So how do you draw it? Same shape. Okay, the nitrogenous base, same shape for this. They are not joined, they have a certain distance, of course. Then what else? What else? Yes, you need to draw the pentose sugar. How do you draw it? If the pentose sugar have the point to the upward, now you have to do it the reverse way, reverse. So it will point downward. I'm using my mouse, to draw. If I can draw it, don't tell me that you can't draw it properly on the piece of paper. Yeah? I'm doing it by using a mouse now. Okay? Then you will say, teacher, how about this thing that is joining one another? I'm going to teach you now, don't worry. So you will notice that there is a certain arrangement that you need to know. So for this pentose sugar, this is actually known as carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, then followed by carbon 5 on top. The carbon 5 is not on the point, again, it's on the, what you call it, the joint to the phosphate group. So you notice that the carbon 3 have a phosphate group, and at the carbon 5 of the other pentose sugar. So it's very simple. You go for this. So I make it very simple to you, the diagram. So for those who cannot draw it, make sure you get used with it. Don't say that you don't know. So you should have 5 here. It will join with carbon number 3 here. So make sure when you put the join here, very simple. Same for this. Go for carbon number 3. Carbon 5 to carbon 3. So any one of you got any problem? It's a very simple drawing. And that's why, teacher, very simple, 3 marks only. No. This is what in the scheme having problem. I mean in the book. You need to actually give the label. Teacher, what label pula? Yes, there are some label that missing here. First of all, yes, there is hydrogen bond in between them that you need to label. I need you to know hydrogen bond. Yes, the empty space in between the nitrogenous base of 2 nucleotides, that is a existence of hydrogen bond. Ada ikatan hydrogen antara dua DNA itu. Kamu jangan kata tak tahu, mesti tahu. Okay? Hydrogen bond. Dan apa lagi yang dengan belakang ni semua? Okay? Jangan lupa ya. Okay, yang kat belakang ni. Okay? Kalaulah kamu ingin belajar lain tambahan saja. Jadi ini label lah, perlu label juga kalau kamu nak tahu. Bukan yang ini ya. Kalau anda tengok, ini memang satu ini, jadi yang ini. Ini sebenarnya kita nama phosphate group, phosphodiester bond. Or phosphodiester backbone. Ikatan fosfodiester, dia ester. Tahu ester kan? Kalau kita belajar kimia, ester is a product between alcohol and also an organic acid. Alcohol and organic acid, when they join together, it will form ester. Okay, I'm not going further from that. So it's a phosphodiester bond, or it's a so-called DNA backbone. Okay, so you must know it. All this you must know. Make the line actually dotted line, don't put a total line join between them, because it is an invisible bond. Okay, and if it's considered not to say a strong covalent bond, it's a hydrogen bond. That's why also you need to know that what is actually the name of the DNA so-called structure, or we call it, what is the name of the strands of the DNA? Some book they do mention, we call it 5' 3' anti-parallel arrangement. Anti-parallel. What does it mean by anti-parallel? Bukan tidak selari, bukan dia anti selari. Ya, dua-dua pun garis yang selari, tetapi arah yang bertentangan. Kalau kamu tengok ini 5, dia akan pergi carbon 5. Sini atas pula dia pergi carbon 3. Yang kelima itu dia semua pergi ke bawah. Jadi arah dia bertentangan, tapi kecerunan sama. Anti-parallel. 5', 3' anti-parallel. So I've explained to you now. Hopefully it's clear. Ini tak tulis, ini tak jawab pun tak apa. Yang penting jawab yang hydrogen bond dengan phosphodiester bond je. Yes, siapa yang soalan ni?
Bentuk Ustaz terbalik, salah lah jawapan dia.
Apa itu? Bentuk yang pentose sugar tak terbalik, salah lah. Maksudnya kamu tak faham. Itu yang kata nampak macam senang tau. Apabila kamu lukis, kita tahu, adakah tak kamu perhatikan perkataan anti-parallel ini dalam buku itu? Tak percaya? Online. Memang ada. 5' tunjuk kepada satu belah ini, dia punya point itu ke atas. Jadi kebetulan 5, carbon ke-5, satu ke bawah. Jadi carbon ke-5 itu ke bawah. Jadi atas tu cuma 3. 3', 5', anti-parallel. Nampak senang tau. Tapi apabila lukis tak, aduh, kenapa saya salah pula. Macam itulah. Okay, terima kasih sebab tanya. Jadi yang lain boleh ikut ke tak? Siapa ada soalan? Saya tak minta angkat tangan, saya minta siapa ada soalan. Kalau ada soalan kamu boleh type je. Saya terima je siapa soalan. Okay, no questions, so we continue. Okay, so why is it this question picked for you, boys and girls? No, girls, actually girls, boys. So without wasting our time, I'm going for actually end up this lesson with monohybrid, the F2 generation first. But I need you to go for this so that we complete this question. So I mean, in order for you to know what you need to do next. So when you go for these questions, I need to complete this question 2 first before I back to the monohybrid cross. Give me some time. Yes. Next question, page number 7. Allow me to finish this. Teacher, what is this thing? Okay, this is again a homologous chromosome as shown in the questions. Okay, Raja 2.3 ini kamu nampak ada gene A, B, C, D dan E. Cikgu, kenapa C, D ini huruf kecil? Recessive lah tu. Recessive. Jadi selepas after a certain treatment, gene A found missing. Ini dia. Murid-murid ingat bab 12, bidang pembelajaran 12, chapter 12. Even though the chapter comes with the title variation, I repeat, variation, there is something that you need to not to forget. In this chapter, I already given here to you. Okay, variation is important, definitely. The question I also give to you already. But there is another thing here, mutation. Mutation. Cikgu, apa tu mutation? If you cannot remember, mutation first appeared in your syllabus in Form 4 chapter 6, cell division. What is it, mutation? Mutation talk about uncontrollable cell division. Uncontrollable cell division, if you remember. Okay, maksud dia, sel tiba-tiba menjadi tidak terkawal, membahagi tak terkawal. Sepatutnya, sel itu mungkin membahagi 2 kali, 3 kali sehari. Sekarang, dia jadi tidak mendengar cakap, dia bahagi 10 kali, 20 kali dalam satu tempat. Contohkan kulit. Itulah menjadi tempat itu ada satu tumor ke tumbuhan yang kalau tidak terkawal dia akan jadi kanser. Itu contohlah. Jadi apakah yang menyebabkan dia tidak terkawal membahagi secara mitosis? Why is it uncontrollable dy? Because there is something happen, for instance here. Okay, what is the name for this thing here? Okay, I'm going to give answer very it's easy. This is called chromosomal mutation. Kalau kamu nak bagi mutation pun terima Kalau kamu nak cakap jenis mutation untuk ini, mutasi untuk ini, deletion pun terima. Dan jawapan terbaik sebenarnya chromosomal mutation. Ya, kalau kamu baca bab ini ada dua mutation. Gene mutation, chromosomal mutation. Untuk cancer tadi cikgu cakap itu gene mutation. Belum asingkan. Chromosome mutation pula ada dua. Satu pada struktur, satu pada bilangan. Bilangan soalan seterusnya, kamu akan nampak. So, namakan satu faktor yang boleh menyebabkan proses di 3C1 ini dengan cepat Maksud dia, apa yang boleh menyebabkan proses di 3 ini? Ya, jawapan dia memang mutation. Tak salah pun. Tapi kalau boleh bagilah contoh lah seperti apa? Seperti apa? Radiation. Mutation ini kalau kamu nak buat ulang kaji, ada banyak Dia ada physical factor and also chemical, ada dua. Tapi untuk ini mutation. Jadi kalau kamu nak tahu lebih, sila baca dulu. Saya tak nak sentuh sebab takut tak sempat masa. Kita nak balik kepada Mendel F2 3-1 itu kita perlu jawab juga. Jadi sekarang mutation saya dah settle Kita buat satu permulaan untuk kamu baca nanti di dalam buku teks bab 12 ataupun rujuk pada Google Classroom. Kat situlah bidang pembelajaran, baca je. Okey, sambung. Di sini juga cikgu perlu ulang kaji balik. You need to remember the word karyotype. SPM, I don't know which year already. They do ask for the definition of karyotype. What is karyotype? If you notice here, yes, karyotype is a diagram where all the chromosomes are listed or not listed, are shown, okay, in it. Meaning that if you have 46 chromosomes, you should have all 46 chromosomes in that diagram, and that's called karyotype. So you can see that this is a karyotype of certain individual. Okay. First question, determine the sex. If you cannot answer this, very big problem now. This is XX, definitely this is a female. No problem without wasting our time. Okay. Then what is the genetic disease? That's why you see at 21. It got 3 homologous chromosomes. We are dihybrid organism. Dihybrid should be 2N. Not dihybrid pula. We are actually what you call it, diploid, not dihybrid. I made a mistake. Diploid. So we should have pair, chromosomes in pair instead of 3, 4, or 5. So this is a triploid, 21 there. So what is the name of this disease? Very important also. You need to read it yourself later, just a moment. Okay, this is called Down syndrome. Why Down syndrome happen? That's why back to your reproduction. Okay, you need to remember back oogenesis. Oogenesis. This is also a very common general question. Common and general. Why? You might heard about ladies or women are not actually encouraged to get pregnant. Okay, get pregnant by, what we call it, elder age. Maksudnya perempuan tidak digalakkan untuk mengandung pada umur yang tua ataupun uzur. Kenapa? Katanya akan dapat anak yang cacat. Salah satu dia mungkin dapat anak yang Down syndrome tinggi. Apa itu? Kita akan cerita masa akan datang. Tapi baca dulu Dan kenapa? Sebabnya, because there is an extra chromosome, or extra chromosome, and chromosome number 21. Okay, we made the thing clear and simple now, so that we clear for question number 2. So question 2 settle. Back to the Mendel. Back to Mendel. Mendel perlu habis cerita sebab hari ini kita fokus monohybrid. Lepas tu kamu boleh jawab dengan guna monohybrid pada soalan yang lain. Okay. Lepas tu balik kepada yang tadi, muka surat yang kedua. Back to page number 2. We need to finish out what actually Mendel started. So Mendel find out that when he crossed two opposite traits of pure breeds, okay, the F1 generation produced will be only single trait that remain. One trait disappeared from the F1 generation. However, when he do self-cross, again self-cross. Why self-cross come into our topic? Because now we know that all the F1 generation are heterozygous. So if you want to do heterozygous crossing, we shouldn't do back cross. Back cross maksudnya balik dengan mak ayah tidak ada, itu lain. Jadi kita buat untuk yang heterozygous saja. Maka dia dapat tahu bahawa semua heterozygous F1 generation, tak kira mana-mana satu ciri, 7 ciri yang dia kaji itu, semua yang dihasil itu adalah 3:1, 3:1 ratio, nisbah 3:1. Jadi macam mana dia nak jawab? Menggunakan apa yang dia dah jawab tadi, baliklah kita nak balik kepada asas apa yang dia dah jawab. Jadi kalaulah kita ambil F1 lah, generasi F1 generation, generasi F1, andai kata kita ambil phenotype. Tidak senang tall plant. Dia macam cerita sekarang yang baru lah, tall plant. Jadi dia buat kacukkan cross. Sekarang ini panggil self cross. Apa maksud self cross? Pokok yang sama, kita tahu dia heterozygous, kita buat persenyawaan dalam pokok tersebut. Self cross. Okey, menggunakan berus. Dia memang tak sebut ya. Jadi, apakah genotype dia? F1 generation genotype semua dah tahu. Saya tahu kamu dah tahu. Ada yang mungkin dah tengah tulis di situ. Bagus ya, tulis tahu. Jangan tak tulis. Jadi, kita tahu dia T besar, T kecil, T besar dan T kecil. Jadi, mengikut Mendel, ketika meiosis. Kita dah guna perkataan meiosis tak? Mendel tak sebut meiosis tapi dia kata ketika pembentukan gamet. Jadi, apa yang akan berlaku? Gamet. Jadi, salah satu alel akan diturunkan. Salah satu je. Diturunkan ketika pembentukan gamet. Jadi, nak ke tak nak, kamu perlu tulis gamet. Ini biasa pemurid tak tulis, hilang akal. Walaupun dia tulis, dia lukis cantik tapi tak tulis benda yang biru kat sebelah kiri, semua salah. Wajib tulis Jadi, T besar, T kecil. T besar, T kecil. Jadi, apa yang berlaku? Saya pun guna 2 warna garis sekarang. Jadi, ada 4 yang kamu perlu tahu. Nampak? 1 garis daripada sebelah kiri, 1 garis daripada sebelah kanan. Dia cuk. Ini persenyawaan berlaku. Jadi, sekali lagi, persenyawaan. Ketika pembentukan zigot, cikgu tak tuliskan ini wajib tulis persenyawaan Tak tulis pun hilang makan. Itu pasal benda ini ada 7 makan. Nanti cikgu tunjuk di sini. Mana 7 makan Sabah. Okey, jadi maka kamu akan dapat T besar, T besar. Jadi T besar, T kecil. Ini T besar, T kecil. Dan inilah T kecil, T kecil. Okey, dengan cepat maka kita dapat di sini adalah F2 generation. Genotype. From that you need to write for F2 generation. Okay, phenotype as well. Perlu tulis semua. Nak ke tak nak perlu tulis. Tall plant. Tall plant. Again, I forget to bring my what you call it the writing pad. So that's why I'm writing like it. I have to use the word idiot but let it be. Tall plant and short plant. Di sini maka lengkaplah apa yang kita nampak. Cikgu mana 7 markah tersebut. Betul kan? Jadi cikgu guna warna hitam pula untuk tunjuk. Antara markah yang di 7 markah itu adalah pertama ialah ini. Cikgu dah letak namakan alel tu satu markah. Kedua, kalau soalan bagi phenotype, kamu namakan genotype ini, namakan dengan dia ini. Maksudnya ini satu. Besar sangat pula. Satu. Lepas itu meiosis satu lagi. Mesti ada anak panah. Tak ada anak panah salah. Mesti ada anak panah. Separate anak panah. End up with the arrow. Without arrow wrong. Then you must have gamet. orthogamet circle. Ya. Nampak dah ya. Persenyawaan setiap garis ini mesti betul. Lepas itu genotype, lepas itu phenotype, mesti nyatakan betul. Dan kadang-kadang kalau dia nak pergi lebih, ini yang lebih ni sekarang kita nak pergi lebih dah, penerangan lebih. Jadi the phenotypic ratio. Kalau ratio dia 3:1. 3 salah. Mesti kata 3 dominant plant to 1 short plant. Dia mesti ada phenotype, mesti nyata. Kalau tak nyata salah. Genotype pula. Phenotypic ratio, genotype ratio. You will have 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive. Jadi di sini kamu nampak Mendel dia tak tahu apa-apa daripada tak tahu apa-apa, dia cuba fahamkan melalui konsep matematik macam mana dapat 3/1. Okay? Di sini juga kamu perlu tahu last sekali ini penting. This is what we call it probability. Probability. This is important. Probability of getting whole plant. Ikut saya tak tahu. Tak tahu bagus. Tak tahu perlu tulis. Apa itu probability of getting whole plant? Is 3 divided by 4 multiply with 100, which is no need to multiply with 100. That one is possibility. Probability 3 divided by overall you got 4, so it's 0.75. Probability, penting. Ini pun kadang-kadang tanya. Jadi perlu faham Kalau kamu nak kata 100% pun terima, itu possibility, SPM pun terima. Tapi probability kamu ambil apakah phenotype bahagi jumlah anak dia. Kalau 4 lah. Jadi dapat 0.75. Dia paling tinggi lah 1. Kalau kamu dah belajar matematik, itu dia. Di sini juga cikgu perlu perkenalkan. Yes, in your textbook they use the word Punnett square. I repeat, Punnett square. So you like it or not, Punnett square, you can just take a look later because I'm going to use Punnett square later in the dihybrid process. So you can refer to page 235. Try to get used with this thing, Punnett square. I'm going to talk about Punnett square in dihybrid cross, no worry, which is also in your question here, if you notice. Okay, I'm going for this question later, which is on page, your handout, page number 10. Page number 10, question number 3A. I'm going to do that, Punnett square. Okay, genetic schematic diagram cannot use to answer for dihybrid cross, terlalu complicated. Jadi dia perlu gunakan Punnett square di situ. Punnett square pun kamu perlu tahu, okay, untuk persediaan pada dihybrid cross. Dan mungkin ada antara kamu cakap, kenapa cikgu bersungguh-sungguh ajar pewarisan? Inilah kita dah tutup topik dah. Sebabnya tahun lepas KSSM tak keluar. Dia keluar lebih kepada modern technologies dan juga tidak lupa pada pedigree Maksudnya pedigree dia tak keluarkan soalan penerangan untuk monohybrid dan dihybrid. Jadi kita bersedia untuk soalan sedemikian lah. Kalau tak keluar jangan salahkan cikgu. Kita hanya nak buat analisis dan kita rasa apa yang kemungkinan keluar, jadi kita bincangkan dan kita mendalami. Okey? Jadi sehingga sekarang siapa yang ada soalan? Faris kata teacher probability boleh tinggalkan dalam fraction ke? Boleh. 3/4 itu boleh. Jangan tulis salah boleh Tapi kalau boleh bagi nilai dalam 1, sebab probability yang tertinggi 1.00 kalau kamu ikut matematik, meaning 100% will occur. Okay? So any one of you got questions? I know it's very tired to follow the lessons online. That's why I will not do under 2 hours, but at least now 1.5 hours. May I have a response from all of you? Okay, I'm now doing a poll now. You can see, take a look here, and the poll here for this. Just a moment, I create a new poll. Can you follow the lesson today? Okay, I'm making it a very simple thing. Very simple poll here. If you don't do it, I don't know what to do already. So, launch. Okay, if you think you can follow, you put a yes. If you can't, you put no, and then you put it at the chat box. It's very difficult to understand. Let it be. We just need to follow the lesson today. You need to do a survey lah. Okay. Semua saya nak 18 Kalau sekarang 12 vote saja, saya tak tahu macam mana. Saya perlu 18 vote Sekarang 12 je, yang lain macam mana? Boleh ke tak? Boleh ke tak tekan? Ataupun kalau tak boleh tekan, kamu nyatakan kat sini boleh pun saya faham lah. Tulis pada chat box ya. Murid-murid? Okay, sekarang 13 lah. Yang lain, 5 lagi. Kalau tidak kita tak boleh nak keluar ya. Tolong. Kita 15. Ada lagi 2. Ya, 18, 17. 2 lagi. Siapa dia? Tak mungkin lah satu-satu cari kan. Kalau tak boleh tekan poll pun tak apa, tekan tulis kat sini okey je. Ataupun dah tertidur. Okey, tak apa, kita pun tak nampak masa. Apapun 15 daripada 17 tu kira baiklah. I mean majority kita ada dalam respon. Okey, Ahmad Nur Faris ada soalan tak? Ahmad Nur Faris? Oh, tak ada. Yep. Tak ya. Jadi that's all from me today. I will see you another day by 30th of December. If I'm not mistaken, the arrangement. So thank you so much. Whatever the lesson that have been done today, listener. So this thing here is recorded. I'm going to later on share it the YouTube link to in the group. Also, no worry, in the WhatsApp group, we may not WhatsApp group, to your WhatsApp to the parents, as well as in the Google Classroom as a classwork lah. You may just watch it back later. So hopefully today's lesson will make you in a deeper understanding for the third tema ketiga, genetik dan pewarisan. Okay, and that's all from me today, and I will see you by next lesson. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Welcome.
Thank you, teacher.
Ya, Faris, apa soalan dia nak tanya? Welcome, Mafiq. Ya, Faris, tertidur ke Faris?